we have some very sad news.
In the previous video to this, if you watched it, we established that we are a separate species as clever crackers.
Yeah, but now, just moments ago, we realised we're not, are we?
We're not. We can't produce fertile offspring.
Even if we wanted to. Or actually any offspring, actually.
Any offspring at all.
You haven't got that womb thing.
And neither do you.
No,
So it's not really anyone's fault.
Yeah. So, species.
Yeah. So how do we determine, Dr. Penn, how do we determine what the different species are?
Yeah. Well, a species is something that can produce fertile offspring.
Absolutely.
So as you know, a hybrid cannot, so it's not a separate species.
Absolutely. So that's an important thing to realise. Now, we also have special names for species because we've got in this whole massive world, we've got so many species. How do we know what can breed with what? How do we know what are different species?
So what we do is we split it into different groups. This is called taxonomy.
Yes, indeed. That's a word you need to be able to define. It's taxonomy. It's the naming of species.
Yep, and splitting it into many groups. Now, a while ago, we found one way of splitting it.
Yeah, we did. And that's split into 7 things until eventually you get to species, very specific things. And that goes...
So it goes kingdoms, so you have like Animalia, bacteria, all that jazz. Then it goes into phylum, which is like similar kingdoms will have the same things. Then we have C, which is class, yeah. And then we have O, which is order, F, which is family, G, which is genus, and S is finally species. And this is how we used to split it.
And then when you get to species, you then name the species itself with a binomial system.
Yep.
And a binomial system means that everything has 2 names,
Yeah.
essentially. So you probably know that humans are Homo sapiens.
Yeah. And humans.
Yeah. Sapiens, I think it's spelled like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
So there's 2 names. And the first one is the genus, as we call it.
Yeah. And the second one is the species type there.
Yeah. So it's the binomial system for naming species. So when you get to this level, everything then has its own name, and that's millions of names.
Yeah, and this is to avoid confusion.
Yes. So we've got these 7 steps to get to a species, but you mentioned that was the old way.
I did. I mean, now we've unified a few.
We have, yeah.
I've also split a few up. So before there was 5 kingdoms, and I don't know if you need to know what they are.
No. I think you do. There's Animalia, the prokaryotes, the prokaryotics.
Oh yeah, prokaryotes, there's bacteria.
Yeah.
I don't know, but there's 5 anyway.
Yeah.
But now they're split into 3, and these ones you do need to know what are.
So what we have is sort of a level above this level before we get into kingdoms, that is super kingdoms. It's sort of how it works.
Yeah. And we've split it into
3.
Yeah.
Rather than the 5 we had before.
Yeah, because if you kind of go to super kingdoms, we have prokaryotes and eukaryotes, which we learned about earlier in the course.
But new research has declared that actually there's prokaryotes with bacteria. The bacteria and something called archaea are actually distinct from each other.
Yeah, they're more different than before.
We thought they were just prokaryotes.
Yeah, so before we had no nuclei, and now we split it further. The ways that we have archaea.
And then we have the prokaryotes as we had before, so bacteria as we sum them up as bacteria. And these, neither of them have nucleuses, as we know, nuclei.
And then we have eukarya, which is stuff with nuclei, like us, plants, you know, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so this is most of the stuff you've probably heard of, so all the animals and all that sort of stuff.
And
a few things like E. coli and stuff when it comes to the bacteria, and a bunch of things you probably haven't heard of coming to archaea.
Yeah.
And so it used to be just pro and eukaryotes, so with and without nucleus.
Yeah. So now we have this level as well.
And as things get better, as we can do more things with DNA, it's possible this will split into even more. We might find out there's actually different types of eukaryotes.
Because where we worked out that they were different is using something called phylogeny, which is looking at all the different genes. And that's spelled
PH.
Yeah.
Phylogeny. Or is it phynology?
I
think it's phylogeny.
I think it's the phylogeny, yeah.
By the way, we use something to determine these things as actually separate things.
Yeah.
So now we have super kingdoms.
Which are pretty cool. Is there another name for them?
There is, I think it's domains.
Yeah.
We normally call these domains.
But super kingdoms is way cooler.
So remember that.
So super kingdoms. Both will be accepted because they are the same.
So rather than the 5 that there was at this kingdom level, we've now sort of bypassed that with 3 to go into the phylum, class, order, family, genus, species.
Yes.
So we're not a different species.
And that is a damn shame.
It really is, because I'd have loved a clever cracker family. You can be our clever cracker family.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. That's not just humans though, right?
Yeah, it is. But only the ones that revise. They're the important ones.
Yeah, yeah. Well done you. You're
So
revising
like
doing
and
this,
subscribe.
so yeah, do that.
I wish we were a species.